And so what I have here now are 4 chords, or 4 triads. They're all in root position. So we've got a 1 chord, a 2 chord, a 5 chord, and a 7 diminished chord. So they're a triad because they have 3 notes. So what if I take this C chord, but then I add a 4th note onto it? These are called, so this chord has 4 pitches, and an additional 3rd has been added to on top of the triad. So this additional 3rd here. These are called 7th chords because the distance from the root to the top note is a 7th. So when I label this in Roman numerals, I wouldn't just say a 1 chord. I would now say a 1, 7 because I've added a 7th to it. And I can do the same for all these other notes. Add a 7th to them. And you can hear how it changes the sound to add 7ths to these notes. So here you go. Now, the 7th chords are named by the quality of the triad plus the quality of the 7th measured from the root. So remember, quality is whether something's major, minor, augmented, or diminished. And so what you're doing when you're labeling a 7th chord, you're labeling it by whether the chord itself is a major or minor chord or a diminished chord, and you're labeling it whether the interval from the root here to this 7th, whether that 7th is a major, minor, or diminished 7th. So, you can only have so many different combinations. So you can have a major chord with a major 7th. You can have a minor chord with a minor 7th. You can have a major chord with a minor 7th, and a diminished chord with a minor 7th, and a diminished chord with a diminished 7th. So, for example, this here is a major, major 7th chord. So, that's a major, major 7th chord because the bottom 3 notes are a major chord, and C up to B is a major 7th, right? If it's 1/2 step below the tonic, it's a major 7th. Now this 2/7 here, so major, major 7th. Okay. Now the 2/7 here, so what we have here is the bottom, these bottom 3 notes, is a minor chord, right? You have the minor 3rd here, you have the major 3rd here. So this is a minor chord, and the D up to 7 is a minor 7th. So you would call that a minor, minor 7th chord, abbreviated as small m and small m. This is one of the most popular 7th chords you'll find here. You have a major chord in the bottom, and you have a minor 7th on the top. So this is called a major minor 7th because you've got the major chord on the bottom, because you've got the major chord on the bottom, but then the 7th here is a minor 7th. Also, major minor 7th. It also, the common name, the name for this is called the dominant 7th because the 5/7, 5 being called the dominant. So it's often called the dominant 7th. Okay, now what about this chord here? So this is where the pattern for naming starts to kind of go away, because this is called a half diminished seventh chord. And it's called a half diminished seventh chord because the bottom chord here, this is a diminished chord. So you've got a minor third, but the B up to the A, but the seventh is actually a minor seventh. So what you have is a diminished chord with a minor seventh. And so that's commonly called a half diminished seventh chord. Now what I can do is if I were to make this a flat, this A flat, so now we have B, D, F, A flat. Yeah, scary, right? Now if I make that an A flat, then what is the interval? So this is going to be a question. So here comes a question you're going to have to fill out. So what would be the interval here from B to A flat? What is that interval from B up to A flat? What is the interval? Yes, so the interval from B up to A flat is a diminished seventh interval, because B up to A sharp, if you had a B up to A sharp, so if a B up to A sharp, that would be a major seventh. And if you took away the sharp, like you have over here, B to A is a minor seventh. So if you bring that down even more, then you have a diminished seventh. Now, why? So here's another one that you're going to have to fill out. Why is it not a major sixth? Why is it not a major sixth? Why is it not a major sixth? Right, so it's not a major sixth because B, C, D, E, F, G, A is 7. It's making an interval of a seventh. If it were a major sixth, it would be some sort of G. It would be G sharp. And this is where the enharmonics become really important, and whether you're labeling it as a diminished or whether you're labeling it as a diminished seventh or a major sixth becomes really important. So this would be a major sixth because B, C, D, E, F, G, that's 6, and then the sharp makes it the right intervals of a major sixth. But because it's B up to an A and it's a variation on an A, then it makes it a diminished seventh. Okay. So we're going to go back here to the half diminished seventh for a second. So with the half diminished seventh, you draw a little circle and you put a line through it. Now, when you have, this is called a fully diminished seventh. And it's called a fully diminished seventh because you have a diminished chord here on the bottom, and then you have a diminished seventh from B up to A flat. So that's called a fully diminished seventh. So that's a half diminished seventh. Here's the fully diminished seventh. You might notice that it sounds a little bit crunchier than the half diminished seventh. It's because things are squeezed it back in a tiny bit more. So you'll be able to easily tell a fully diminished seventh because a fully diminished seventh is pretty much just stacks of minor thirds. So B to D is a minor third, D to F is a minor third, and F to A flat is a minor third. In contrast, the half diminished seventh will be a minor third, another minor third, and then a major third on the top. Yeah, so those are the different combinations. You have the combination of it's either a major 7, a minor 7, a major 7, also called a dominant 7, half diminished 7, which is a diminished chord, but then a minor 7th, and then a fully diminished 7th, which is a diminished chord, and then a diminished 7th. Okay, so here's the C major scale with sevenths built on each of the scale degrees. So it's 1 7, 2 7, 3 7, 4 7, 5 7, 6 7, and then 7 7. Okay, so what I'm gonna have you figure out is what type of chords are these? The 3 7, the 4 7, and the 6 7. So I've already told you that 1 7 is major major, 2 7 is minor minor, a 5 7 is a major minor, and then a 7 is a half diminished seventh chord. So what is the 3 7? Is it major major, minor minor, major minor, or half diminished, or fully diminished? What is the 3 7 chord? Okay, so the 3 7 chord is a minor minor 7 chord. Okay, so the 3 7 chord is a minor minor 7th chord. It's a minor minor 7th chord because EGB is a minor chord and E up to D is a minor 7th. Okay, what about the 4 7 chord? So next we're gonna do the same question, but what is the 4 7 chord? And once again, what is the 4 7 chord? Okay, so the 4 7 chord is a major major 7th chord because the 4 7 chord is a major major 7th chord because we've got a major chord here at the bottom, and then F up to E is a major 7th. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be in C minor now. So here's 1 7, 2 7, 3 7, 4 7, 5 7, 6 7, and 7 7. Okay, and you may have noticed that I am using the harmonic minor just because it does tend to be more common to raise the T. So what I've done was I've used a natural to raise that te up to a T for here on the 5 7, and I've done the same thing here for the 7 7. Okay, so what I've done is I've given you the first couple ones. A 1 7 is a minor minor 7. A 4 7 is also a minor minor 7. A 5 7, again, like in major, is a major minor 7. The dominant 7 because it has a major chord here at the bottom, and the 7th is a minor 7th. The 6 7 is a major major because it's got a major chord at the bottom. Got the major chord at the bottom, and then we have a major 7th. And what I'm going to ask you to do is tell me, what about these chords here? What kind of 7th is this? So tell me, what kind of 7th is the 2 7 here? The 2 7 here is a half diminished 7th chord, and I've gone ahead and like abbreviated HD7. Technically, I prefer, because for whatever reason the program wouldn't let me put in a circle with a slash down here. So, but you would use like a circle with a slash through it like this. Okay, so when it's a half diminished 7th, because you've got a diminished chord here at the bottom, D, F, and A flat, and you've got a minor 7th here. So D up to set C is a minor 7th. So D to F, that's a minor 3rd. F to A flat is also a minor 3rd, but then A flat to C is a major 3rd. So it's a half diminished 7th chord. Okay, last one. What about this one? So B natural, D, F, and A flat. What kind of 7th is this? So what kind of 7th is this, the 7 7 here? Okay, so this is a fully diminished seventh chord, and it's a fully diminished seventh chord because you've got the diminished chord right there, and then the B natural to A flat is a diminished seventh. So the other quick way to tell is that you've got a minor third here, B to E, D, and then you've got a minor third here, D to F, and then you've got another minor third here, F to A flat. And that makes a fully diminished seventh chord.